Okay, sorry, when I picked up the camera, we ended up losing connection. And I'm trying to lift up the Miller top feeder right now, and it doesn't want to come up, and that is fine. That just means that the girls have sealed the top feeder down, which helps with the robbing. So I'm going to very carefully come in the cracks here and try and lift up without damaging the top feeder. And you can hear the pop. So that what they've put in here is called propolis, and it's like wax. All right, off goes the top feeder, and I'm kind of glad there aren't as many bees on the inside. Oh my goodness. But I don't know if you can see all the bees on the underside. All right, I'm going to lift this above my head and make sure that there's no queen. They've started a little bit of burr comb between the gap of the feeder. I don't think that I see the queen. I'm going to be really careful because this is going to kind of, I don't want to crush any bees. Okay, we'll see how that goes. Okay, this is super exciting. I see a ton of fresh honeycomb inside the hive. I'm gonna smoke them. Hopefully my smoker is not dying on me. Ooh. I see a lot of really light, fresh honeycomb. I added 2 frames last week, and it looks like they have already drawn them out. And it does look like the hive is almost ready for that next level to go on. If I have about 70 to 80% of drawn out frame, then I can add the second hive box, the second deep. All right. And most of the bees will typically start putting the brood in the middle, like that's where the queen will lay most of her eggs and stuff, and that's where our a lot of our babies were that had not hatched, that were capped. So I'm going to start in the middle and take one out. And this one is really sealed in there good. I'm going to get some of the propolis out. I'm going to try not to crush any of them. The frames, the hive looks a little bit fuller, so I am thinking that we have had some babies. We've had some new bees. I feel like the colony is growing. I would pick up the camera if I didn't think that the camera would cut me off again like it did. Alright, so one thing, I took a bee class today. One thing I learned, that if you crush a bee, it lets off like a pheromone, and the bees do not like that. And that's when they start to get a little angry, when they smell that one of their fellow bees has been harmed or hurt. So we're going to try and keep them calm. This one frame seems really full, and I'm just trying to figure out what it's full of, but I see a lot of fresh honeycomb. Alright, so let's try and get this out without damaging anything. The guy that I watched today do the hive demonstration, he did not wear any gloves. And he mentioned that that's when he mentioned that if they sting you too, they let off a pheromone. And if you have too much of that. Alright, here we go. I'm going to try not to crush or hurt anything. And we'll see if we get a chance to see the queen. Alright, I already see one stinger at the tip of my glove here. They're starting to sting. Okay, this is super exciting to see. I'm going to see if you can get a good up close look. There is a bunch of nectar in here. It's all glossy. I don't know if you can see, but then there's also something in here called propolis. The propolis and the nectar, those are what the bees use. It's like a bee bread. It's like a food of protein and vitamins for the bees. And then there's some capped brood. So that is a good sign that when they've got all this nectar and food, that there are babies and that they are growing. So I am going to look a little closer. And I see just a lot of food in here. I've been able to watch them lately come in with the pollen on their pollen pockets full, and it's all different colors. All right, so I'm going to set this down. I do not think I see the queen, and I do not want to disturb her or them. However, there is this little bit of extra comb that is growing at the bottom there, and I am going to take that. Well, I'm going to let him have it. I'm going to let him keep it, but I'm going to put this down near the lid. All right, so last week when I checked, there was one of the combs in here that I took a picture of, and it had, they're really full in here. I'm so excited. Okay. I am trying really hard not to upset any of them or damage any of them. And it's really important for the bees that I try and pay attention as best as I can, and that I put these frames back in the same way that I took them out, because they have a special system of which frames get which thing in it. Ooh, okay, so that one I ended up moving a little bit faster than I wanted. That kind of upset them. And they're getting angry.